Let me ask you something right off the bat. Do you genuinely believe that happiness only comes when your life is completely 100% problem free? We're so often conditioned to think that peace is this grand reward waiting for us at the very end of some exhausting obstacle course. We literally tell ourselves, oh, I'll be happy when this huge project is finally done, or when the bills are all paid, or, I don't know, when my relationships are just perfect. But what if that entire mindset is a complete trap? What if waiting for a totally problem-free life is exactly the thing keeping you from living a happy one right now? Well, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to unpack a fascinating source text that honestly completely dismantles everything we think we know about finding joy right in the middle of adversity.
Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to picture someone. Let's say their life is just filled with poverty, intense pressure, and some truly deep personal struggles. Now, by all conventional logic, this person should be miserable, right? Just totally stressed and defeated. But what if, instead, they wake up every single morning with a huge, genuine smile? What if they're literally the most joyful person you know? I mean, it sounds like a complete contradiction. No way, right? How can immense struggle coexist with immense joy? Well, to understand this paradox, our source material introduces us to a really specific and honestly a highly relatable story.
Section 1. The Mystery of Sam, a smiling man in pain. So picture this peaceful little village where a man named Sam lived. On the surface, if you just watched him walking down the street, his life looked perfectly fine. But the contrast here is absolutely striking. On one side, you have Sam's harsh reality: poverty, relentless work pressure, fractured relationships. I mean, he carried the kind of heavy burdens that would easily break most of us. Yet on the other side is his daily outcome. He woke up every single day smiling. He approached his mornings with this renewed passion and vibrant energy. And the villagers? They were completely baffled by this. They saw the immense pressures he was under, and they just couldn't figure out how this guy managed to stay so incredibly positive.
Eventually, the curiosity just became way too much. The people in the village literally couldn't hold back anymore. So one day, a village elder finally walks right up to him and asks the question that was on literally everyone's mind. He says, "Sam, how do you do it? Your life is an open book of struggles to all of us. We know exactly what you're going through. Yet despite all these problems, you are so happy. What is your secret?" And you can imagine, everyone leaned in, right? They were probably expecting some magical solution or a hidden stroke of luck.
Section 2. The Core Illusion, Finding Peace. So Sam just smiled at the elder, leaned in a little closer, and shared his secret. He openly admitted that, yes, his life was indeed filled with sorrow and worry. But, he explained, every single morning when he woke up, he asked himself one highly specific question. Today, will I think about my worries or leave them behind and choose happiness? Just let that sink in for a second. It wasn't some spontaneous, lucky feeling he had. It was an active, deliberate interrogation of his own mind at the start of every single day. You see, Sam realized something profound that, honestly, most of us completely miss. He knew for a fact that if he allowed his problems to dictate his mood, he would simply never experience peace. Why? Because problems will always exist in some form or another. It's just a guarantee of life. Actually, think about it. If you're waiting for the day when absolutely nothing is wrong, you're going to be waiting forever. You can't control your external circumstances. You can't control what happens to you or the hands you're dealt. But the power you do hold, the absolute undeniable power, is how you choose to react to those circumstances. And this perfectly illustrates the trap we all fall into. For most of us, literally 100% of our time and energy is spent focusing on our worries, agonizing over them, and frantically trying to fix them. And that tiny sliver left for happiness, it's a flat zero. Happiness just sits there in the background, patiently waiting for a turn that never actually comes, simply because there's always another problem to fix. We basically run out of time to even glance in the direction of joy. Section 3. Happiness is a choice. Reclaiming your life. Now, the text makes a point to emphasize that Sam is not some fictional, unattainable superhero. He's a mirror, because his life, his stress, his broken relationships, his daily pressures, it's really not much different from yours or mine. The exact same choice that Sam faced every morning is waiting for you tomorrow when you wake up. You can either continue to dwell on your problems and dial up your anxiety, or you can rise above them just for a moment and actively search for the joy that already exists right there in your life. So the crucial point is this completely new definition of happiness. Happiness is not some spontaneous emotion that just magically strikes you when the weather is perfectly nice. And it is certainly not the byproduct of a perfect, flawless life. It is a conscious, active, daily decision. It's a choice you make, often in direct defiance of your current circumstances. And look, you don't need to put on a fake smile or pretend your problems don't exist. That's not it at all. You simply need to decide to protect your baseline of joy. But protect your joy from what, exactly? Well, the source material lays it out super clearly. You have to actively shield your happiness from three main things. First, the outside world and its endless, exhausting demands. Second, the heavy baggage of your past sorrows. But most importantly, it's this third point, those insidious, negative inner thoughts. You know, that quiet voice in your head that whispers you're useless or things are never, ever going to change. You have to fiercely guard your mind against that internal narrative, the one that demands a completely problem-free life before granting you permission to be happy. When you actually adopt this mindset, when you treat happiness as a concrete decision rather than a reaction, something incredible happens. You become, in a way, invincible. By refusing to let your worries dictate your daily mood, you totally strip them of their power over you. Like, yes, the problems are absolutely still there, but they no longer own your attitude. You've taken the control back. And man, that completely alters the way you live and experience the whole world. Section 4. The One-Day Challenge, a practical exercise. Let's move to and see how this builds into a really practical exercise that you can literally do tomorrow morning. It's only 3 steps. Step 1, wake up. Step 2, choose happiness for just one single day. Put your worries on pause, literally refuse to engage with them for 24 hours. And step 3, solve your problems after you smile. The problems aren't going anywhere, but you're fundamentally changing the order of operations here. You are prioritizing your joy first and handling the logistics second. The material basically asks you to simply try this out, just for one single day. And then observe. Did taking that power back from your worries create even a 1% change in your daily life? Did it make the day just 1% brighter? Because if you experience even a tiny fraction of a shift, that is a massive victory. In fact, the text really encourages you to share that experience, because your personal turning point could very well become the exact catalyst for someone else's transformation. It all boils down to this fundamental shift in perspective. You know, we spend our entire lives trying to solve the problem so we can finally smile. But I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to carry with you today. What if you smiled first and solved the problem second? Try it tomorrow morning and just see how it changes your world.